Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Plain Talk. I'm your host, AJ Rivera, and today I'm joined by Chig Martin. Mr. Martin is a Democrat running for governor. Mr. Martin, how you doing today?
Doing good. Glad to be on Eagle Eye TV there at Auburn University.
Yes, sir. Well, we are glad to have you, and let's go on, get right in to this interview, get right into our show. So, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? A little bit about your campaign and why you're running for governor.
Yes, basically, I was born here in Coffee County, Alabama, in Enterprise, Alabama. Went to Enterprise High School, graduated there. I was fortunate to get a full football scholarship up to the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga. Graduated there in '91, moved back down to Dothan after graduation, and started at the bottom in sales. Sold vacuum cleaners door to door, and then got a job selling photocopiers. And at that time, a new technology fax machines. It'll tell you how old I am. And I did that and finally advanced my career and became a salesman for a national industrial company out of Chicago. After that, I started a business, Thunder Industrial, out of the bedroom of my house, ran it that way for about 7 years and turned it into a business now that does business all over the country. And we're not in my bedroom anymore either. And we got a state-of-the-art office. And I'm the owner of Martin Mobile Homes, which was a family-owned business of 55 years here in Enterprise. And about 3 years ago, one of the more exciting things I've done in my business career, we were able to start the state's first hemp and CBD store, Honeysuckle Hemp Company out of Dothan. The reason I'm running for governor is I'm just like everyone else in the state. It doesn't take very long to drive around and just visibly see all the problems that we have. And people are struggling here without good paying jobs and lack of health care. And I just felt in my heart that I was at a right time of my life to maybe step forward and provide some good leadership in Alabama and recruit some good industry here to the state that pays good wages and offers health care and just be a good steward of the state and step forward and run.
So, right now it's a very crowded race that, at the time of this interview, we have 9 Republicans that have registered as well as 6 Democrats for the primaries at the end of May. What separates you from your opponents?
Well, really a business philosophy. I'm running more as a pro-businessman. And that seems to be what I gather when I'm around all these candidates. We have a lot of candidates, and it's no big secret. They pander to a lot of issues that, in my opinion, don't really do anything to improve the quality of life of Alabamians. And pretty much the whole focus of my campaign is to help life better for Alabama citizens and their families.
Well, let's get right into some of those issues that Alabama families are talking about right now. Okay. So the first kind of topic that I want us to focus on is education within the state. It's no real surprise to Alabamians when they hear that we are ranked nationally near the bottom. According to U.S. News, pre-K through 12th grade education is ranked 45th nationally, and higher education, so our colleges, is ranked 39th. Now, the majority of Eagle Eye's audience is college students. We are very education-based. If elected governor, what would you do in approaching the education situation here in Alabama?
Well, AJ, one of the things, and this is just the way I do business in general, and these kind of philosophies will carry over, but some of the things I think we have to do first and foremost is we've got to get politics out of the classroom. Our classrooms have become grounds for political views being pushed. I want to get teachers to leave agendas and political views when they shut the car door and walk into the classroom. And I just want to teach accurate details of history. I want to teach at some point world-class math, science, reading, and English. One of the obvious holes that I think we have here in the state is 46 out of 50 states here in Alabama have an education lottery. And it's no surprise, as you were saying, we rank near the bottom, and we're also one of those 4 states that don't have the lottery. And so I think one of the things I personally want to do is in my business career, I've always leaned on surrounding myself with good people. And one of the things I want to do is I want to actively recruit some of these people from other states that are with the top ranked states in education in America and get them into Alabama and help us shape and mold our system. And another thing too, I think some folks are trying to make our educational systems complicated right now. We have all kind of acronyms and different theories and things people want to add to it. And my thoughts are, we haven't even gotten running a basic education system correctly yet. And so I think we have to rebuild the core, and let's just make a good, strong educational system. And once we get there, maybe we delve into some different things. But as far as college students, college students are a key reason I'm running, and young people, because I'm just turned 54 years old a couple of days ago. And I always tell people things are different for people like you at your age, AJ, and young people. When I was a young person, you really had the ability to dream. If you wanted to start a company, you could pretty much, if you set your mind to it, put a good business plan together, you could do those things. Well, now a young person, almost anything they think of in their mind that they want to do, you can Google it and find a company that is doing it cheaper than what you could even think about starting a company and doing it for. So we've got to keep young people in mind. We've got to provide, I really want to keep people your age and the students at Auburn University. My goal is to keep as many of you as possible in the state upon your graduation, because you are absolutely the future of our state, and you guys and girls will be the one that lead us to greener pastures.
So we move now on to the lottery and gambling, which you kind of hinted at earlier, talking about education. So recently, gambling has been very much of a hot topic, especially with bills being introduced in the Alabama legislature. What are your thoughts? And I know you mentioned this briefly, but bringing the lottery to Alabama, similar to what Georgia, Tennessee, and Florida and of our surrounding states have done, as well as bringing casino gambling to Alabama.
Yes, and one thing about me, if I were fortunate enough to be elected governor, all major decisions like that will be laid out to the people, and the people will make the decisions. If we have lotto, if we have gambling of any kind, which something that always seems to get left out, is we already do have gambling in Alabama. Sometimes people overlook it, but it's just controlled by Indian entities. And so it is limited, but if we were to have lottery, obviously that would be run in a different type way than gambling. But if the people voted and wanted gambling in this state, one of the things I'm all about is free trade and competition. I wouldn't want it to be state controlled. So, and you know, there's other things that I don't want to be state controlled, like liquor sales, for instance. I wish it was opened up to the free market. I think our state would actually do better. I think business owners would actually make more money as well.
So I want you to clarify something for me. So you said that on some big decisions, including gambling, including the lottery, that you would leave it up to just a state referendum?
No, I would let the people of the state, the citizens of the state of Alabama, I would like to put it out on a general vote and let our citizens decide if we have the lotto and gambling in the state. I'm really, everything I do is citizen driven, and our citizens making the final determination.
Well, let's move on to our third topic, and that's going to be infrastructure and gas prices. Definitely, we've seen over the past year with COVID, a few years now, inflation has driven gas prices considerably higher than previously. On top of which, Governor Kay Ivey has introduced a gas tax as part of her Rebuild Alabama infrastructure plan back in 2019. We see now within the state that gas taxes or gas prices are over $4 a gallon for gas and over $5 a gallon for diesel. Now, if elected governor, how would you approach the current gas situation, inflation, infrastructure?
Well, and by the way, AJ, I hope you didn't tell everybody I couldn't afford the gas to come up there and be in person with you today. That's why we're doing Zoom. Basically, I tell people this all the time. A governor only has so much control over national inflation, and that's just the truth of the matter. But the things that you can control as governor, basically inflation means your dollar is not as much worth as it was worth, in previous years. And that's where we're at right now. And really the only way to combat it from the state level is to put our manufacturing and our different businesses in better places where they're not overburdened with unnecessary taxes and red tape. And you let them operate freely and get products out cheaper. And that's one way from the state level to help inflation. Unfortunately, I was really disappointed on the 10-cent per gallon gas tax because that seemed to happen at the midnight hour without citizens actually knowing about it or having anything to do about it. I would like to personally, if I elected, put a plan in place and to recall that gas tax and something like that, definitely. And going back to lotto and gambling, a major decision like that should have citizen input. And I understand that what the 10 cent per gallon is going for, but it's basically, it's out there, it's never going to stop and actually can raise. The price can actually go up from that 10 cent in the coming years. So it can be a dangerous situation. As far as gas prices, they stink, they're tough. They're tough on me. They're tough on everyone I know. I know who would ever thought you were going to be paying $60, $70, $80 to completely fill up a regular vehicle. And that's where we're at right now. I do take into account that there are some temporary problems right now on gas issues with the fact that we are at war, we're not at war, but Ukraine and Russia are at war. And some of those people are the biggest suppliers of oil and fuel in the world. And that does have things kind of messed up right now. And I think that'll kind of hopefully soon that conflict will be over there and prices will go down some.
Well, is there anything else that you would like to discuss? I know earlier you said that a big reason that you are running is because of college students. So is there anything else, you want to say to college students or just talk about issues in general?
Yeah, the main thing about college students is all you guys and girls really have to be very smart, and you have to think things out really well right now at this point in your life, because your generation, in my opinion, is facing tougher challenges than any other generation in the history of this country. I mean, we've got national and world problems. We've got we've got businesses and workforces that are so competitive. The main thing that I would tell all the college students is always negotiate well moving forward in life. Try to put yourself in the best place for success. It's tough out there, but obviously, if you're a student at Auburn University, it's one of the finest institutions in America, and that's going to put you a little bit ahead of a lot of other places. Auburn's, I would have loved to go to school at Auburn. I enjoyed myself a little too much sometimes when I went to visit Auburn. But I was young once. But it's just a great community, and you guys are all getting a world-class education, and you should be really proud. You're starting life well with an Auburn education.
And one last thing, I've just noticed this on your sign in your background, that it has you saying that you're running as an independent governor.
Yeah, that was put up. Yeah, I'm a conservative Democrat.
Okay.
And anyway, that was put up incorrectly, but I just rolled with it. The wrong sign was picked out earlier. I'm on a remote location, so just ignore that.
Okay, so but you are on.
I'm a conservative Democrat. Yes.
Okay, so you will be on the Democrat ballot. Just wanted that
yes,
clarification.
Yes.
Well, Mr. Martin, I want to thank you so much for sitting down with me, answering a few of our questions, but unfortunately, that is all the time that we have today for Plain Talk.
Thank you, AJ. Really, I appreciate the opportunity, and War Eagle there to everybody at Auburn University.
Definitely, War Eagle. Everyone that is watching at home, make sure to follow us on our social medias at Eagle Eye TV and our website, eagleeyeauburn.com, throughout the selection cycle, as we are your leader for Auburn news. I'm AJ Rivera and War Eagle.